Welcome to TechBrothersIT. In this video, we are going to learn what is Lakehouse in Microsoft Fabric. We'll discuss some use cases, benefits, and how to load the data. So what is Lakehouse? A Lakehouse combines the scalability and flexibility of data lake with structured query of a data warehouse. In Microsoft Fabric, a Lakehouse stores both raw files and structured delta tables. It runs on one lake, Fabric's unified storage layer. It supports both Spark and SQL engine. Think of it as your central place for all the data, from raw ingestion to the reporting ready tables. So use cases we are going to discuss like data engineering, ingest raw files and clean them with notebooks or data flows. Machine learning, store training your data sets and features. For business intelligence, create delta tables for the Power BI Direct Lake. And then you have ETL pipelines, combine and transform data from multiple systems. You will be using a data archival, store historical files, and run periodic aggregation jobs. So all these common scenarios you see right here, it is Lakehouse can help you to achieve those. So how to create the Lakehouse in Fabric? Very easy. So we'll be going to the Lakehouse in the workspace, and then use the plus sign, and from there we will provide the name and it will create the Lakehouse. Now we will learn how to load the data into the Lakehouse. That's the demo, and then there are some notebook queries here or some code that we'll be using to read the data. So let's take a look on summary and then we will perform a demo. A Lakehouse is a powerful Fabric item that merges data lake flexibility with the SQL-ready structure. So we will have raw files, and then we will create the delta tables out of it, and then we can use SQL queries on those delta tables. Use it to ingest, transform, and serve data for analytics and machine learning. You can load CSV, Parquet, JSON files and turn them into the delta tables. So first of all, if you are on the home right here, you can go ahead and create your workspace. If you have already created the workspace like us, you can go to the workspaces here, and then you can see two workspaces. The one I have is everybody would have it. That's called my workspace, where you can do things whatever you want. And there is a one workspace we created later called the sales analytics. So this is for the teams. Maybe other teams are going to have permission on this one, and we will be working as a team on this workspace. So if you go right here, I have this items here, and then I can click right there, and then under the new item I can find the Lakehouse. So you have store data. So there are different type of storages available. So in this case, the Lakehouse is one type of it. We can create a data mart, we can create a sample warehouse, we can create semantic model, we can create a SQL database. So with this, and we can create also the warehouse. Our goal out of these all the items is to use the Lakehouse. So I'm going to go ahead and create the Lakehouse. So let's call this a Lakehouse, maybe Tech Brothers Lakehouse. Okay, and we are going to go ahead and create this, and once you create that, it's going to open that folder for us. Now Lakehouse, once it is created, it will you have right here is called Lakehouse, and once you click this type of the view, is going to show you these tables and files. So you can see right there, as of now we don't have any table or files in this Lakehouse. If I want to close this actually, and let me show you, successfully created SQL Analytics endpoint. You can now access the SQL Analytics endpoint. So every time you create the Lakehouse, it is going to also create one SQL Analytics endpoint. So you can query your Lakehouse by using SQL queries. So we will be shifting between these two tabs, and I will be showing you where you need them. Now let's say if you close this whole thing, and then from here, let's take back, and here is see Tech Brothers Lakehouse is right there. You can also close from here. Now if you will go back here to the home, and then either you can go to the my recent or quick access and go to sales analytics, and then you're gonna see this Tech Brothers Lakehouse right there. And other way to see that, you can see the SQL endpoint is there if you need to write the SQL queries, and there is a semantic model created as well as a default. So here we can click on the Lakehouse again, and it is going to open that Explorer, and then you have tables and files. And right here again we are in the Lakehouse view, not in the SQL Analytics endpoint. Now in this view, and you can see on this side, this is also showing me like this is open. You can close it and it will close this whole thing. Now if I have files that are sitting on my computer, I can upload them. So see right here you have a tab called upload files, and then you have start with sample data. You can create new shortcut and new data flow, gen 2 and new data pipeline. All those things you can create here. If you click here, you can go ahead and use it, but our goal is to upload some files. So I'm going to go ahead and upload some files. So I can click on the right three dots right here as well, and I can have upload from here. So you can upload a folder or you can upload files as well. Also you can go to the get data tab here, and you have the same tab here, say upload files, and you can click from there and it is going to get you here, so you can navigate and upload the files. So let's click on upload files here and then browse, and then we will be able to upload some files. Here I would like to upload customer.parquet, and then I'm going to go ahead and find a couple more to upload, such as one JSON file, and then I have I'm going to search for customer files because I have customer files, and one of them right here is customer. I'm going to go further down here, and here is my CSV. So these are my CSVs, and I can simply select all three of them, and then I will upload them. I'm trying to find a file that is a JSON file, so I'm going to go back here and then search for asterisk.json, and here my file called sample customer, and it's a JSON file, so I'm going to upload that as well. So now if I go back here under the files, and I'm going to see those files right here. Now you can see their properties, and so you can rename the file if you want, and you can delete, or you can see the properties. If you see the properties of these files, you're going to get the URL, like this is going to be your URL. So let me see if I can expand this one a little bit. Okay, can't expand this, but anyways, you have you can copy here. So this is the path. You can see OneLake.dff, Fabric, Microsoft, and all that. Then you see that it is under the files, and then we have this customer.parquet. So again, you have relative path, that's under the files, and then show you the customer Parquet, and you have a BFS path as well. So different paths wherever you need to use that, and we will use them. And here is the size of those files. You can click on them and sort them. So you have by date or by size and all that. You have all those options. Now these files are there, and if I would like to query these files, I can do that as well. So here one way I can load this file to the new table. So right here, as of now, I don't have any table, but let me query the files first, and then I will show you. So I can go to the open notebook here and say new notebook, and in the new notebook, once the notebook is open, then we can query. So here you see that we are using PySpark. You can also have different options. You can use Scala, Spark SQL, and Spark R, and HTML, and all that. So let's say here on this side we have those files, and I don't know how to even write PySpark code. So these are the list of the file, and I want to read this customer.parquet file into the data frame. So data frame is a structure that is like a table that has columns and rows, and it is in the memory. So I'm saying here is my data frame df spark.read parquet, read this parquet file, and that's a complete path for this file. Now once it reads it, so the data will be loaded to data frame, and then I can display this data frame. So it is going to show me all the records from that data frame. So here it is, and you can see that I have ID, first name, last name, and salary in this Parquet file, and we have this file sitting under the Lakehouse, and then we use the Spark notebook to read this file. Let's minimize this, and then we can close this one. Let's say I want to clear the output. Now if I want to read this file, that I can drag this file as well here, and then it will read that file. So we can execute this cell, and what's going to happen is going to read our CSV file. So it automatically figure it out. This is my CSV file. So in this case, you can see right there. So it is a formatted CSV. So we can see the data right there. Now let me clear the output here. So let's create a new cell here, and what I'm going to do, see right here I have PySpark, and if you go ahead and say, hey, guess what, I want to use a Spark SQL here, And now I have this magic command here, and if I will drag this file, it is telling me please load data with the Spark Python or Spark R. So it is let's say it is only going to work with our PySpark or R. So let's say I select the R now, and now if I will get the file and see if I will execute now, we should be fine. So it is going to only work with the PySpark or R in this cell in this notebook. So when you are reading, these are different files. So let's let it read. Now we are using R here. So somehow this got failed, and we have to kind of take a look like what exactly happened. So I don't want to go further dig into this one, but let me do one thing. If I will use let's say Spark R here, and then now think about if I use the Parquet file. So I want to just test if it is my CSV file, maybe that's the problem, or this is also true like when I'm running this. Let me run this now. So I'm using Parquet file, maybe CSV had some issue, that's why it did not bring us the data. Okay, yeah, there was some issue probably with the CSV file, so maybe it's not well formatted, that's why it was not able to read by using my Spark R here. Okay, but you understand now, you can use either R language here, or you can use a PySpark when you need to read these files. Okay, great. Let's do last thing here, and I want to clear this output and scroll down a little bit. And here's we read JSON. Sorry, we read Parquet, we read CSV, and here I would like to read the JSON file. So once I bring it here, it automatically a new cell is created, and now it is reading a JSON file right here. And you can see right there, I have country, customer ID, email, and there are some other records as well in this JSON. So this is how you will be uploading the files in the Lakehouse, and then using a PySpark or R language to read them. Now let me close this from here, and we go back and what we are going to do, we are going to load these files into the delta tables now. So I'm going to go ahead and close this from here, just so we just kind of get used to it. And here is my notebook too. So I'm going to close this, stop and close, and you can see that now what we have here, we have tables here and we have files here, and I can close this again, and I can get to the go to the workspaces again, and then go to sales analytics, and here is my Lakehouse. So I can click right there, and that will bring me tables and files again, and this is the icon, open icon right there. So now if I have Parquet file, JSON file, or CSV files, I can load them to the delta tables. So here under the table, as of now no table there, I can click right there and say load to table and new table, and I can give the name say customer find. That's gonna create a customer file and load this file customer.parquet to the customer table, and successfully created a customer table here. We can close this, and now I'm going to go ahead and load the JSON file as well to another table. So let's go right here, and now if I will click here and go to properties, no, that cannot be done. And if I can go to the JSON file, it's not giving me the same option, so that's fine. I'm going to try something else then. So here for the CSV, I can go ahead and say new table, and then we can give the table name, and it is separated by comma, that's fine, and then we can load this table. So now once we click on the tables here, we are going to see these tables. So there is a customer table, and that has ID, first name, last name, and this table is created from the customer.parquet file. And then I can actually refresh here, and let me see, our other table should be ready too. So you can see that we have customer, and that was created from our file called customer_us. So see right there, so I did not change the name. So now if I click on this table, and what's going to happen is going to load some more data, so I can preview the data from this table. So it is showing 15 rows, so you can see right there. And if I click on the second table, it's going to get some data for me too. Now it's showing us only 3 rows because it has only 3 rows. Now that was a great way to get those table files into the table, but there is one thing. Let me show you right here actually. So if you go on these 3 dots, what you're going to see, you can rename, and then you can delete the table, and you can view the files. So once you click on the view files, it show you the Parquet files, and then it show you the underscore delta underscore log. So the logs are saved under this one, and then all the data is here in the Parquet files. So if I will just move here, you can see that anytime you keep inserting data and all that is right there. So I will show you, but before we do this, like query this table by using SQL and all that, I want to show you one thing, how to get the JSON file into the this delta table. So here is my JSON file. If you remember, if I will click on JSON file, it is showing me all the data here, but the issue is I can go to 3 dots, but I cannot load to the table. So I have to write a notebook, and what I can do, I'm going to open a new notebook here, and then what we will do, we will write our PySpark code. So first of all, I need to read this JSON into some data frame. So let's go there. And now if I click right here and go to files, and here is my JSON, I am going to just drag it here, and now it is going to create my data frame called df. Once the df is ready, I can simply write that data frame to the delta table. That will come under here. To write to the delta table, I can do something like this. I'm going to make a small change here in this notebook cell, and I'm going to say df data frame dot write. So write function format delta and mode overwrite and save as the customers. So I'm going to call this customer underscore JSON. Okay, so we'll know that. Now I don't need this display data anymore, and I can go simply close this one, just put the comments there, and now I can run this cell again, and it's going to create first of all, it's going to load the data into the data frame from this path that has a JSON file, and once it read the data file into the data frame, then it's going to use the data frame dot write function to create a new table. So if I will refresh here under the Lakehouse, I should have the tables here. So I'm going to refresh, and now we should have one table called customer underscore JSON. So let's take a look as this is completed and we are fine. We can go ahead and take a look on the all the detail of that jobs that Spark has run, and see, if you want to dig into it in case of error and all that. But in my case, I'm fine with that. I don't have to dig further into these job IDs and everything. So now as we have the tables ready here, and we can query them one simple way, as we are already in the notebook, what we can do, we can simply drag them here, and once you drag them, it's going to select PySpark code, and then it's going to use spark.sql to run that. You can simply execute now, and you will be able to see the data. And other thing, if you want to do, you can use different languages. So in this case, let's say you have a new cell here, and then you want to use a Spark SQL, and then if you select the file here, it's going to create a select query, simple select query, the same way we use in SQL, and then execute. So you can use the different languages here to query these tables in the notebook by using a different language such as PySpark or Scala or Spark SQL and R. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and here let's say if I have another cell, and now I'm using R language here, and I want to just read the JSON. So that's the table it will read, and then it will show me the results. Okay, finally it has executed, and you can see the results right here, and we use the Spark R, so our language right here. Okay, now this was a very easy way when we were in the notebook and we use the notebook. What I want to do from here, I want to use another way to query these. So if I will go to the here Lakehouse, and then I'm going to go ahead and close this notebook, and I want to show you another way to handle this. So let's say if I will close this, stop, and so let's go to the workspaces, and then we go to Sale Analytics workspace, and then we can go to the our Lakehouse, and in the Lakehouse we have TechBrothers Lakehouse. So if I click right there, and you can see right there, every time we were getting here, it was showing us the tables and files, and then when we click on the tables, it shows us the table view. If we click on the file, then it always shows us the file and the records in that. Now here on top of that, you notice that it is say Lakehouse. So that's where we can go ahead and open our notebooks and use a Spark language to query our tables or files. But think about that, you want to handle this in only SQL. So you have the tables, these are delta tables in the tables under the Lakehouse, and you want to query them by using SQL queries. So in this case, a SQL analytics endpoint is created for you. So you can click right there, and then once you click there, it's going to show you a different user interface. In this case, it is going to show you schemas, then show you DBO schema, information schema, query insights, and all that. And then you have also security tab, DB roles, and built-in and custom. So it show you these extra features here. So in this case, if we will go right here under the Lakehouse and go to schemas, and in the schema we have DBO schema, and they go to the tables here, then we have those three tables that we loaded from the files. We can create the views, function, store procedure. We will work on these different things later on. So go to the tables here, and if you click on the table, it's gonna go ahead and then it's gonna preview the data here. But now I don't want to just preview the data here. I want to actually write my SQL query. So I can go right here. Actually, you can click here and say new SQL query, top 100 rows, or you can simply go top here and then a new query. Just click a new SQL query, and it's going to open a blank query window for you. And we can go ahead and say select star from, and you say customer. So you see that all the tables you can see right here. In this case, we have a customer table, and then we have customer US and JSON. So run this one, and now once you run it, you are going to see the results. You can use where clause or all the other group by and everything, you know. So if you say order ID is less than 100, so now we can write our query here with the where clause, and it is giving us all the records of where customers have ID less than 100. And this is how you will write your SQL queries. And now if you want to switch back to the Lakehouse, you can. And once you do that, it's going to get you back here with the tables and files. And then again, you will be working with these tables, delta tables or files by using a notebook. So if you want to go back to the SQL Analytics endpoint, you will go back. So you will switch between these two depending upon your needs. And most of the time when you are going to work with the tables, you will be going to the SQL Analytics endpoint, and when you are working with the files, you will be mostly going with the notebooks here. So this is a pretty long video. I thank you very much for watching. We are going to go ahead and explore some more features in the next video, and I will see you guys in the next video.